Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
En el nuevo paradigma de la educación inclusiva no cabe la educación especial. Las estructuras educativas especiales han de migrar en un periodo razonable, no se puede hacer todo de la noche a la mañana, hacia estructuras y prácticas plenamente inclusivas para todo el alumnado, sin distinciones ni acepciones.
La Convención Internacional sobre los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad de la ONU de 2006 marca el punto de partida de la polémica por el cierre de los colegios de educación especial. El valor de la inclusión educativa es incuestionable y desde la educación especial se desarrollan multitud de procesos innovadores para asegurar esas oportunidades para alumnos con discapacidad.
No es admisible por más tiempo la segregación educativa por razón de discapacidad. Es un imperativo jurídico internacional de derechos humanos comprometido por España con la comunidad internacional y con el sistema de Naciones Unidas. En el caso de la discapacidad parece que forma parte del paisaje, que se acepta con naturalidad y que no provoca especial escándalo, pero no deja de ser una segregación por razón de una diferencia. Se trata de una violación grave de derechos humanos. Proponemos que en el plazo de 5 años desde que se adopte tendríamos ese lapso para migrar de estructuras no inclusivas a estructuras inclusivas. Que no se creen ni se pongan en servicio más centros de educación especial y que no se admitan más alumnos con discapacidad en los centros especiales, deberían ser declarados a extinguir, que subsistan hasta su completa desaparición.
Vamos a dormir.
¿Pero por qué los acostamos sin comer?
¿Viste que nosotros tenemos que dormir de noche?
Sí.
Bueno, la heladera también.
Mentira.
¿De verdad? ¿Escuchas eso? Está roncando.
¿Y mañana va a estar despierta?
Sí. Mañana sí.
El hambre no tiene final feliz. En la Argentina 1 millón de niñas y niños se van a dormir sin comer. Tu donación mensual puede cambiar esta historia. Dona ahora.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola, mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless EE.UU, más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
to get it in, I get in my car, I lock the doors, and then I scream, like at the top of my lungs, you know, that guttural, I can't take this anymore, hands on the steering wheel, just, I was a little bit louder than that. Hello there, my beautiful internet friends. I come to you today out of the suitcase that caused complete and utter emotional collapse but a few hours ago. Now, I did not know that a piece of luggage had the power to do that, but you learn something new every day. Joining us today, we have the very creepy Nicolas Cage fellow. You're welcome, he's back. We got a little monkey behind me, and we got cakes behind me on the other side. It's a little family party here. Also, there's me, who hasn't showered in days, and frankly has no will to at the moment. So today, I'm gonna share with you something that breaks all of the rules of being disabled. Yes, there are unspoken rules. Very uncool, very uncouth, but I wanted to share an emotional truth. Perhaps the day will come when I am graceful about needing help, when I'm graceful about the reality that the world is not built for people like me. But that day was not today. I think generally speaking, I present myself as someone who's pretty comfortable with this situation because most of the time that I am. But something I've never been able to say that I feel like most self-realized disabled people are able to say is that, like, I wouldn't have it any other way. But the reality is that I would. The day I had to go back to the airport to pick up our luggage because it got lost, no big.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola, mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless EE.UU, más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
This is all right. No, come back. Oh God. That is gonna leave a bruise on my ankle. It's a good thing there are spikes here so I can impale myself. Onward to victory. Hello there, my beautiful, lovely internet friends. Welcome back to my channel for a very special and, might I say, dangerous edition of Amputee Tries for the very first time. Now, you see, placed in front of me, I have a hoverboard that's been sitting in my garage for about 6 months now as I work up the courage to try it. If you know anything about me and my channel, you know that coordination is not at my top list of skills. So we're gonna try this for the very first time. I feel like this is generally something you see like 8-year-olds trying for the first time, but as a 30-year-old woman, I'm gonna give it a shot. Charging cord. I've been told that balance on both sides of your body is really important for these things not to just spin in circles, which I do not have. So we're gonna have to break out the helmet. This is a lot heavier than I thought it would be. Instructions? Do they just turn you loose on the hoverboard? A guide for your ride. You know what? I bet there's probably a YouTube video on this. It's like an 8 or a 9-year-old in this photo. I don't think hoverboards are meant for me. Looks simple enough. Okay. Oh, it's working. I just got a little concerned to be standing on this. Also, I would like everybody to welcome, you can't see her, but she's lovely, our new camera lady. Hi. Lori, which is awesome. I'm gonna make some coffee for energy and courage. Realistically, hoverboarding doesn't have any real benefit to my life. I just think it looks cool. Maybe I'll be one of those cool YouTube people who just hoverboards everywhere. I'll be like with my camera going around town, you know?
Like one of those TikToks. Well, here I go again.
Also, this is my Nespresso machine that I don't think I've introduced you all to. I absolutely love her. Brian got this for me as a present. I am curious, there's kind of a cult of Nespresso lovers and also people who swear on their lives it's not real coffee. It's the best coffee. I am right on this one, but feel free to leave your comments down below. So let's look up some how not to die hoverboarding videos. How not to die on a hoverboard. There's no video answering that question. All right, I might be the first. How do you get to slow down though? So imagine lean forward is like go forward, lean back is Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So when I first got the hoverboard months ago, I thought this was gonna be an absolute disaster, which granted, it still might be, but since then, I have tried snowboarding, which is kind of similar to skateboarding, which I was terrible at as a child, but my balance was okay, so I'm thinking maybe I've learned enough about my body and how to balance that I can stay upright on one of these. Oh, this is Jake Paul. Oh God, no. No. I can't do it. The spin trick, I think I'll be doing that one without trying. I feel fully prepared. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me all the tips and tricks on how not to die hoverboarding. Improv an idea here that will hopefully keep me safe. It's probably like 15 or 20 pounds. It's a lot more than I would expect it to be. I think this is a good idea with the rug, Lori. I like it. Tighten the old shoelaces so I can kind of feel like how the motor works. Is that like, oh God, it goes fast. You see the pretty lights on the side? 10 out of 10. Step on, you don't want to step on forwards. Oh dear God, that is a lot. Pretty powerful. Cool, cool, okay. All right, reset, center focus.
So you have to like put your foot on it like perfectly centered.
I obviously don't have an ankle that I can control, so it's kind of harder to get that side going. This is thrilling cinema. Okay, so the one weird thing, I ran into this when I was snowboarding too, that because I don't have control over my foot or my ankle, but my body still tries to like clench and move those muscles. So I end up with like my residual limb getting super cramped up. I've got to learn how to like relax that so I can do this for more than 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna take this on the mean streets of Colorado Springs. I just feel like this is a good idea. This is my equestrian helmet. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dumb does this look, Lori?
I think you look cute.
I like the fact that my neighbors are gonna see me like this. So I brought the chair out for emotional support. Okay. No, come back. No. Oh God, the bumps. It's all right. Good start. Hit the back of my ankle. We should go somewhere that doesn't have bumps. I gotta like do cool TikTok dances on these, right? Oh God, there's a girl. All right, faster. All right, we are here at a public park where now everybody can see my excellent hoverboarding skills. Avoid the hole. It's a good thing there are spikes here so I can impale myself.
When you need to do something really, really fast, you need a montage.
Gypsy and Bella.
Oh, hello. May I say hi to her as well?
Yeah, she'll say hi to you.
She seems standoffish, but she really doesn't mind. You're such a sweetie.
They still have like all their baby fluff.
Oh, cute. Oh my God.
Righteous. So doing this, when I tense it, like to try to balance myself, it's almost activating a lot of the phantom pain and phantom sensation that I have. And so it feels like my toes are like that and cramping. I need to actually stretch it out like this was a real ankle, but I'm hoping I can trick my brain into let it go. So now that I have absolutely mastered the art of hoverboarding, honest question for my audience, what is this good for? It appears to take more work than walking. Like I'm sore and a little bit out of breath from balancing on this thing. Is it to look cool? Because if it's to look cool, I can rock. Is it to save time or energy? Because I don't think it does either of those things. Is it to spin in circles? Ooh, God. Got a little too confident. What should we try next? Should we try some skateboarding? Let me see if I can do a cool turn again. Rollerblading, perhaps? Let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see me try for the first time as an amputee. Okay, hoverboarding update a few hours later. My calf is so cramped up. Like, it still feels like my toes are curled in on themselves. Weird pins and needle sensations, those tiny little muscles like trying to balance and trying to move the hoverboard. Man, it doesn't feel great. Maybe I am too old for this. Or maybe I just need more practice. So in my escapades on the internet, in my content creation over on TikTok, I follow a lot of really cool people. One of whom is this gal. Her name is Tia B. Stokes. You may well recognize her face from her TikToks and YouTube videos and Instagram talking about dancing her way through cancer. On April 24th, 2020, Tia was diagnosed with cancer, had to go into the hospital during the height of COVID when no one could be with her, had to leave her family, lost her mom during that period, and spent over a year fighting for her life. Pretty recently, she went into remission and was able to ring that bell. And in the last couple months, as she has been celebrating being alive and going through this fight and continuing with some treatments, her comment section has begun to shift just a little bit. And that, my dear friends, is what we are talking about today. Is there chocolate in my teeth? Hopefully not. So it's not going to be a shock to anyone listening to learn that our society places a lot of value on your body, on how you physically look, on the shape and the texture and the makeup of your skin and what lies beneath it. I don't think many people disagree that we focus on this to a very unhealthy extent. The rise of eating disorders, disordered ways of viewing our bodies, diet culture, it's all very troubling, but it is a fact in our society that if you fit the definition of conventionally attractive, that you are going to be seen and treated differently. So a couple months ago, I started to see Tia's comment section shift a little bit, and then she started making videos about it. People were commenting that she looked like she gained weight. They were commenting she's fat now. I don't know who thinks that's okay to comment, but let's move past that. And with utter grace and respect to others, absolute class, Tia responded to these comments with a few different videos and Instagram posts talking about, this physical change, talking about being on a very high dose of prednisone that was helping her stay alive, and that one of the side effects for that is often weight gain.
Yes, prednisone is not a fun medicine, but it is keeping me alive.
But these comments have continued on, and looking at it from an outside party, it seems like a very accurate meter, barometer, if you will, on our society of what we value and what we don't value. So let's recap this for just a second. Here's a woman who has spent a year, probably the hardest year of her life, fighting through something terrifying, something that takes millions of people's lives, having to be isolated away from her family, poked and prodded, go through significant loss, and amazingly, she has made it through that. Her body has gotten her through that. But as soon as it does that, and as soon as it starts to change and look a little bit different than how it did before, suddenly the tone of the support starts to shift a little bit. Because we deem weight gain as a society as this awful bad, very bad, no good, I've said that way too many times, but you get what I'm meaning, as a bad thing. People see fit to comment on this body that has allowed her to live, that has allowed her to survive, suggesting that it is wrong and it is a bad thing. And the whole, in my opinion, bullshit argument of I'm commenting on your weight because I care about your health, that doesn't even, you don't even have a foot to stand on. Get it? A foot to stand on in this argument, because this is all very monitored by her doctors, right? Let me just repeat the fact that when people say that in comment sections, I think it's an absolute cop-out, but if someone was gonna make that argument, you can't, because doctors are very involved in her body and how it is working right now. Which brings us to the very real fact that there is a faction of people out there that see her body as now wrong, now that it has survived hell and back, but it doesn't look the way that some people think it should look anymore. And she's talked about her own struggle with this, her own struggle with body image, because I honestly don't know anyone who is immune to struggling with the way that they physically view themselves and having shame and difficulty in that. I am one of those people. I dealt with an eating disorder from age 15 to about 20. I was able to get past a lot of the unhealthy behaviors associated with that, but a lot of the unhealthy thoughts still weasel their way into my mind, sometimes on a daily basis. This past year has been weirdly difficult for how I see my body. I really struggle not to hate it. I really struggle not to critique it. I really struggle not to try to punish myself with exercise if I feel like I've eaten too much, which I'm legitimately embarrassed to say out loud. I worry about how I'm perceived and seen, because in my mind, my physical form is still linked to my worth as a human being, to my worth and my value in society. Now, do I actually believe those two things are tied? Do I actually think if I gained 50 or 100 pounds, I would be worth any less as a person? No, absolutely not. But society's subconscious programming sure tells us that, doesn't it? Beauty standards of what is considered ideal have shifted over time. Right now we're in a phase where being athletic and or skinny, you get the stamp of approval from society as a whole. Okay. And if your body, which allows you to survive, which in Tia's case has gotten her through hell, has helped her fight through something that very easily could have taken her life, that does take the lives of so many people, when that body responds to treatments that she is being given and starts to change a little bit what it looks like, suddenly some of the support and compassion and kind words start to melt away. And honestly, I don't know how useful it would be to make a video saying this is absolutely stupid and makes me sick and very angry, but I am gonna say those things. Being in the social media landscape, as I am, far too often I see comment sections of men, women, non-binary people, however you identify, just being flooded and filled with shameful, awful comments about how they look or don't look. And as someone who has felt the effect of society's pressure to be a certain way every day of my adult life, I'm really deeply over it. So many times in my life that I have not done something, or I have made myself as a person in some way smaller, or not attended an event, or not wore something I wanted to, or not gone after a dream that I had because of something that I thought about my body. I've thought about the literal countless hours that I have wasted being concerned about numbers that are sewn onto pieces of clothing, garments, sizes, being legitimately stressed about that, devoting so much of my mental energy to it. And I'm so mad, going back to a video from a week or two ago where I was talking about being angry about everything. I'm so mad that we live in a society that has allowed people to grow up this way and think this way, that has bred a culture that thinks that it is okay to comment mean things on the videos of someone who has just survived cancer, whose body has gotten them through it. It is heartbreaking to me that our young people and our older people are subject and have to waste their lives thinking about these standards, because as someone who is very aware of my body from a surgery and chronic pain and chronic illness perspective, there are so many more important things to worry about and think about than what your body looks like. And I say that as someone who worries and thinks about it way too much. This is a fight I am actively engaged in. But seeing what was happening with Tia online and the comments that she was getting and the, like I said, very classy, very lovely response videos she was making to these people, saying comments that frankly had no place to ever be said, just really drove home the point for me that we are very lost when it comes to this subject. Like, I realize it's been this way for a while, but how have we gotten to the point where commenting at all on the shape, the size, the makeup of someone's body, especially someone who has just gone through something so catastrophic and life-altering with their body, where we think that's okay, where we think that's like an okay thing to do. This seeps into everything. Like, I have had so many conversations with friends who have gone through major life events, gained a few pounds, and are now absolutely crushed. They do not fit into the same size of jeans that they did a year or two before. That comment is in no way shaming them for thinking that, because I know how we get there, right? I know the society that we live in. But the fact that we are programmed to think that way, that we are programmed to focus not on our mental health after we've gone through something so drastic, but on the fact that you're no longer a size 6, you're now a size 8, and oh my God, what are people gonna think? The fact that anyone would think anything about that ever is astonishing to me. And speaking on a personal level, as I was going through major surgeries, losing my leg and then going through it again because I had a fall and it messed things up the first time, those were very present thoughts in my head as I was like laying in the hospital recovering, of being like, well, I still shouldn't eat too much even when I'm in the hospital recovering from surgery because of the visual impact it could have on my body. Like, I didn't give in to those thoughts, but still they were there, and that just pisses me off. But I just wanted to bring up this story in particular because it's really heartbreaking to see, and I hope that by identifying these things, by looking at them, and by saying as a culture, wow, this is really messed up, that maybe things can begin to change. We are all infinitely so much more valuable and sacred and incredible than the skin we inhabit, but even that is beautiful and worthy. So Tia, if you happen to be watching this, I think you're delightful. I think you're an absolute warrior. You're a rock star. Keep doing what you're doing. You're an amazing girl. And to you watching this video, if you are someone like me who also struggles with thoughts of your physical appearance, of your physical body, of the skin that you are in, know that you're not alone, and that I am also working towards towards a mindset and a world in which we do not have such a focus on this, because gosh darn it, it is not what really matters, and we just place so much focus on it, and that makes me sad. So I'm gonna continue to work towards changing it, and I hope that you will join me. We're going to be answering the question once and for all. YouTube moderators, this is a butter knife, it's harmless, I promise. If I were to stab my prosthetic foot with a knife when I was experiencing phantom pain, would it help? And if you have no idea why I'm asking this question, I get asked this pretty much constantly in the comment sections of a lot of videos, because in a very popular show by the name of Grey's Anatomy, there's a main character, Arizona Robbins, who becomes an amputee, and there is a scene in which this happened. And the idea here is that that solved her phantom pain. Now, you and I both know that TV shows are not always strictly accurate to real life, so would this actually work? Does this work? Have I tried this? We're gonna be answering that question and more in this video. But first, before we get to the foot stabbing, which is an excellent sentence to be able to say in a video for work, allow me to introduce you to my new friends at HapDay. HapDay is an app that seeks to improve happiness by a number of steps, one of the most important, which is posting a picture a day for yourself to look back upon. I've been doing this for about a week now, and it is a lovely reminder of the little things throughout my days that have brought me joy. But not only does HapDay focus on using photos to increase your happiness, as you're saving this photo for yourself, it also allows you to rate the quality of your day, which I think is a good moment to kind of reflect on how you've been feeling. It'll then show you statistics of how you've been feeling over time. It also gives you daily tasks. For instance, let's look at what today's is. Think of someone you are grateful for and write this person something nice. So as you're taking time every day to invest in your happiness and complete these little tasks, it also brings you along this course of unlocking new levels and new tasks. Doing something like this, you know, posting a photo a day with a few notes about why it makes you happy and how you're feeling that day, I've personally found to be really helpful, because I think it's easy to forget. To sound really cliche, the little moments. Even opening up the app today for this video, I was reminded of a picture I had taken just about a week ago, and it brought a smile to my face. HapDay is totally free to download through your app store. However, if you use the code on screen, I've also placed a link in the description down below, you unlock things like unlimited posts, carousel type posts like we see on Instagram, also extended statistics, and tracking of your personal growth. This is something that genuinely takes about 3 minutes a day to do, and I think is a good reminder to invest in ourselves. So check HapDay out by clicking the link in my description to download it now. Let me know what you think. And now let's get back to the moment we've all been waiting for, foot stabbing. Okay.
Endowments don't tend to grow with the popularity of these programs, where very soon you have every sick kid in Africa banging down your door. What happened?
You need me to step in?
I like the super tense dramatic music. It's like what Grey's Anatomy does best.
Calm the waves.
These are tsunami force waves, Owen. What is wrong with this woman? I mean, is she having a panic attack? Should she even be in the OR?
No one is moving.
I'm stripping the endocardium from the papillary muscle. If I screw this up, I have to replace the mitral valve, so don't move.
I'm not gonna move. You tell me not to move, I'm not gonna move.
What's wrong? Are you sick?
Alex, take that scalpel.
What? What are you doing?
And stabbing in the foot. What? Just my prosthetics.
I'm just really enjoying this. Okay, let's do it.
Stab me.
What is wrong with you?
Dr. Kraft, I am the chief of surgery. This is an order. Stab Dr. Robbins in the foot right
yes.
now.
What?
Alex. Oh, of course.
All right, that was a trip. Let's analyze that scene a little bit. The first thought that I had when watching this is that I think, personally speaking, just for me and how my body is, I think it would be difficult to be a surgeon and deal with phantom pain, because how I get it is like these electrical zaps of pain out of nowhere, or like crazy bad cramping. I'll be 100% fine, and then like my husband, my friends can attest to this, I'll kind of jump out of nowhere and like be grabbing my leg because it's extreme pain with no warning. So I think that would be really difficult. You really have to train your body not to react to that, which is hard to do when it feels like someone is literally stabbing you in the foot. So I think Arizona, you know, stepping away when she was experiencing that pain was really smart. My first thought looking at that was like, I've never almost fainted from phantom pain, but then again, It can get that bad for some people, and also like stepping away from the table so she wasn't like jerking or jumping any movements while holding scalpels in someone's body was a good choice. So let's talk about the mechanics of phantom pain for just a moment here. First and foremost, it's not all in your head, it's not made up pain. Phantom pain is very real pain that you feel in a part of your body that simply isn't there anymore. When they chop your leg off, your nervous system doesn't necessarily get the signals, like the map that your brain has of your body doesn't get updated that that body part isn't there anymore necessarily. So it still tries to send signals to it, and in doing so you end up with some really wonky feedback that sometimes means you experience itching or pain or stabbing or burning. There are a variety of ways you can deal with that. Some medications help some people. Mirror therapy is something that's very effective. We'll go into that more in just a moment. And also having a prosthetic and like touching the part of your foot that is, you know, feeling an itch or is in pain can be helpful. So let's talk about the foot stabbing. That was actually really funny to watch. I've not seen that scene before for some reason. I must have missed it. Allow us to use a harmless butter knife as demonstration. You know what's funny? Even as I'm like pretending to threaten my foot here, I feel my foot tensing up. Like I kind of feel more tingling. It's almost like those nerves are like resisting for impact, right? But like if I do that, I feel it for half a second. I feel the knife hit my foot for just a moment before my brain realizes it's not actually there. One of the most bizarre things that I kind of discovered on accident once was a friend was like joking about giving me a foot massage and like grabbed my prosthetic foot. And by anticipating what I was gonna feel by watching her do that, I felt her hands around my foot. So when you are experiencing some kind of phantom sensation episode, doing things like hitting your foot or itching it or whatever can actually really help. So when Arizona asks Karev to stab her foot with a scalpel, first off, I'm really glad that he chose the right one and went with the prosthetic one instead of her meat foot. That would have been very unfortunate for her. And you notice in the footage, get it? I'm sorry. I think they did a decent job of depicting this because she's watching as he does it, right? She's looking at it. And for me anyways, a big part of easing phantom sensation is actually seeing something happen to this part of my body. They don't go into detail about what specifically, like what type of pain she was experiencing, but even having something like that would kind of like interrupt all of the signals in your body by being stabbed in the foot could, I imagine, sort of shock it into being okay again. When I talk about this stuff, sometimes I feel like I am in a sci-fi movie or novel because it's so mind-blowing to me that our brains do this. So let's talk about mirror therapy for just a moment. This is another thing that people often ask me about in relation to Grey's Anatomy. Does it work and what is it? So I'll link a video down below that I did on mirror therapy, but it's essentially tricking your brain into thinking that your other leg is still there and moving it, and it can be very therapeutic for your brain.
So I'm going to begin by rocking my leg back and forth, and notice that the whole time I'm looking in the mirror at the other side, at the reflection of my good leg, and I'm picturing the whole time that I have both legs.
Thinking logically, this always kind of seemed counterproductive to me because like, wouldn't you want your brain to acknowledge and come to peace with the fact that your leg is gone? But science shows otherwise, that doing things like mirror therapy can be really effective for relieving signs and symptoms of phantom sensation. For me personally, it was incredibly helpful, especially as I was first adjusting to my amputation and having really bad phantom pain. Mirror therapy doesn't work super well for me in the moment. If I'm experiencing phantom pain, pulling out a mirror and trying that trick doesn't do too much for me, unfortunately, but for a lot of people it can be very, very effective. So one of the things that a lot of people commented in the other Grey's Anatomy reaction video that I did is that they kind of just forgot about her prosthetic as the show went on, which for a major show that has a lot of funding behind it, I think is rather unfortunate because I can't forget about my prosthetic leg. If I do, I can't walk. However, when I looked a little deeper into the issue, I did see some fan theories that they didn't forget don't drop your computer. They didn't forget about it at all, rather something like this was used. So a prosthetic cover like this is actually entirely plausible. They actually make them look really realistic, and I'm guessing that the show did put this cover on her prosthetic leg to allow the actress to keep playing Arizona Robbins without having to pay a lot of money for CGI. So we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that in scenes later on in the seasons where it appears like she has two good legs again, not that you aren't good, you're just different. Maybe it was just a fantastically done prosthetic cover. Personally, I've never looked into getting a prosthetic cover. It's just never really interested me that much, but I know a lot of people that it does help their self-confidence, self-esteem. It's more of what they want to present to the world and how they want to look. And so that's an option that a lot of people have. Long story short, phantom pain is a really fascinating fascinating thing, and sometimes trying bizarre and silly things might be really effective. I will say that maybe don't stab your own prosthetic foot with a real knife, because these things aren't cheap to repair. Like, to get a new foot shell, which is this rubber part, which is what you would definitely pierce by stabbing it, is at least a few $100s. Thank you for coming on this phantom pain foot stabbing journey with me today. Sometimes I like doing these reaction videos. They're just kind of fun and lighthearted, and I feel like I can answer some questions in the process. However, if you have additional questions about prosthetics, phantom pain, anything along those lines, leave them in the comment section down below. I may do a video answering your question in the near future. A big thank you to my new friends at HapDay for partnering with me for this video. HapDay can be a fantastic way to take a few minutes out of your day to invest in your happiness. Like I said, use the download link down below, linked in the description, not only to support this channel, but I'm also interested to hear what you have to say. If you like this app, if you find that it also increases your daily happiness, let me know. And to my beautiful patrons over on Patreon, thank you so much for choosing to invest in what I'm doing here. I could not do this without you, and I am truly so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you. To you watching this video right now, you could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes here, and I really appreciate that. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye guys. By the way, I know that this room is really echoey, and I appreciate you sticking around with me for it. This was supposed to be a video set at one point, then I just turned it into a coffee nook, but I felt like giving it a shot today. So let me know what you think. Mwah! Bye.
Have you heard from the sky all about it? Down the river, high tide flows around it. Through the whispers of pines, I hear them sing. The more you love, the more you live.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Vamos a dormir.
¿Pero por qué los acostamos sin comer?
¿Viste que nosotros tenemos que dormir de noche?
Sí.
Bueno, la heladera también.
Mentira.
¿De verdad? ¿Escuchas eso? Está roncando.
¿Y mañana va a estar despierta?
Sí. Mañana sí.
El hambre no tiene final feliz. En la Argentina 1 millón de niñas y niños se van a dormir sin comer. Tu donación mensual puede cambiar esta historia. Dona ahora.
Estacionamientos para personas con discapacidad. Porque nos mueve incluir. Te invitamos a conocer el uso correcto de los estacionamientos exclusivos para personas con discapacidad. ¡Vamos! Es importante que sepas que para utilizar los estacionamientos exclusivos, el vehículo debe ser conducido o trasladar a una persona con discapacidad. No olvides dejar a la vista tu credencial de discapacidad en original, al interior del vehículo, en el costado inferior izquierdo del parabrisas delantero. Recuerda, la Cruz de Malta no es un documento válido para hacer uso de estos estacionamientos y según la Ley de Tránsito, su uso indebido es una infracción grave. Carabineros e inspectores municipales son los encargados de fiscalizar y cursar las infracciones correspondientes. Respetar los estacionamientos exclusivos para las personas con discapacidad es respetar sus derechos.
La Universidad Católica Boliviana San Pablo abre sus espacios educativos promoviendo medidas de acción positiva que favorece la inclusión en la educación superior de personas con necesidades educativas específicas, a través del área de inclusión, discapacidad y equidad, la cual facilita el tránsito adecuado en el acceso, permanencia y salida exitosa de sus estudiantes. Promueve la actualización en la formación docente sobre la temática. Desarrolla e implementa mecanismos y estrategias de apoyo equitativo en el aula. Aplica el modelo social de la discapacidad para transformar culturas y prácticas inclusivas. Todos los días en la Universidad Católica Boliviana trabajamos con entusiasmo, creando sinergias en la comunidad universitaria por la igualdad de oportunidades con responsabilidad y respeto, sobre todo personas.
Senadis y MITIC ponen a disposición nuevos trámites en línea para facilitar a los usuarios la gestión de varios servicios. A partir de ahora vas a poder gestionar desde tu PC, notebook o teléfono celular estos servicios. 1. Preadmisión, registro único de personas con discapacidad. 2. Agendamiento de turnos de especialidades médicas. 3. Consulta de resultados laboratoriales. 4. Solicitud de carnet de pasaje gratuito, Ley 6556. 5. Solicitud de certificado de discapacidad. Para poder realizar cualquiera de estos trámites en línea, el usuario debe contar con su identidad electrónica. El procedimiento es muy sencillo. Ingresar a www.paraguay.gov.pi, luego hacer clic en Identidad electrónica, después en Crear una identidad electrónica. Allí se debe completar el formulario con los datos personales. Posteriormente se debe adjuntar una foto del derecho y del revés de la cédula de identidad y una selfie sosteniendo la cédula para su validación. Seguidamente el sistema realizará preguntas de seguridad para crear la cuenta. Luego llegará un correo electrónico a la persona en cuestión para activar la cuenta. En caso de que no puedas contestar las preguntas de validación, los agentes del MITIC se pondrán en contacto a través del correo electrónico. Una vez que tengas tu identidad electrónica, podés ingresar a www.paraguay.gov.pi y realizar cualquiera de estos 5 trámites. Práctico, seguro, cómodo.
Diversidad es México. Personas con discapacidad. En México hay cerca de 6.180.000 personas con discapacidad, lo que representa el 4.9% de la población total, siendo la mayoría mujeres, con el 53%, y hombres, el 47% restante. El INEGI identifica a las personas con discapacidad como aquellas que tienen dificultad para llevar a cabo actividades consideradas básicas. Las más comunes son caminar, 48%, ver, 44%, oír, 22%, bañarse, vestirse o comer, 19%, recordar o concentrarse, 19%, y hablar o comunicarse, 15%. Aunado a ello, la discriminación es un aspecto que también sufren las personas con discapacidad, ya que 1 de cada 4 personas la ha padecido. Y según la Encuesta Nacional sobre Discriminación, ENADIS 2017, las principales problemáticas que enfrentan son calles, instalaciones y transportes públicos inadecuados, 31.1%, falta de oportunidad para encontrar empleo, 30%, costo en cuidados, terapias y tratamientos, 21.5%. Este grupo de la población también enfrenta condiciones pronunciadas de exclusión. De acuerdo con resultados del ENADIS 2017, de las personas de 18 años o más encuestadas, el 25.4% de los hombres y 23.8% de las mujeres creen que las personas con discapacidad son de poca ayuda en el trabajo. Por ello, es fundamental la promoción y protección de sus derechos humanos para lograr su plena inclusión en la sociedad y puedan desarrollarse en condiciones de igualdad y dignidad. Todas y todos debemos respetar los derechos de las personas con discapacidad. Diversidad es México. Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos. Defendemos al pueblo.
Nací en Cali, Valle. Mi padre tenía un bar cervecero. A eso de los 20 años tuve el accidente en el mismo negocio familiar, que de allí fue que quedé así, pero prácticamente discapacitado. Transcurrió todo el tiempo así. Tiempo cuando yo estaba trabajando con un primo. Ahí fue cuando hubo un inconveniente, me tocó que salí del país. No dije nada, sino de que me voy. Salí, de una vez me vine ya para Ecuador. Yo no sabía qué era, por lo menos, refugio. Uno podía dialogar sobre eso y para quedarse en un país, que tenía ayuda, ¿no? Al tiempo de no recordar de que me dijeron otras personas que ANUR quedaba por ahí mismo, que por qué no iba a tomar refugio. Primero a mí me dieron para arriendo, comida, poder trabajar, que una persona que tanto como por discapacidad como por refugiado tengo ciertos derechos, siempre han estado a mi lado. ¿Para qué? Con mi señora trabajamos en el parque municipal, lustrando zapatos, pintando zapatos, reformándolos. De eso es lo que hoy en día vivo muy tranquilo. Como me fascina tanto el deporte, siempre he estado con el Club Sin Paro aquí en Santo Domingo. Muchas veces sí, he dejado de hacer mi trabajo por irme a jugar. Me gusta más que todo tener amigos, me gusta tener muchas motivaciones. Lo vivo muy agradecido.
Os vamos a contar una historia, la historia de Yara, Mario, Luca, Yaiza, Elia, Dani y de muchos otros niños y niñas que acudimos a la ludoteca inclusiva del Centro de Atención Infantil y Juvenil de APAM.
Aquí nuestro objetivo es jugar y sobre todo hacerlo con lo que queramos y entre nosotros. Lo que pasa que a veces parece que estamos jugando al teléfono estropeado y no nos entendemos entre nosotros. Y menudo lío se crea cuando jugamos.
No tiene gafas.
¿Es una bicicleta?
Sí. No estoy entiendo. No entiendo.
Ya sé.
¿Soy un instrumento? Sí, soy un instrumento. ¿Es de madera?
¿Tiene coleta?
Soy un tambor.
Sí. Y en otras ocasiones los juguetes temen por su vida. Jugamos.
Yo decidí mostrar mi prótesis y de alguna manera que las personas puedan ver que a pesar de una discapacidad nosotros podemos seguir adelante. Bueno, al inicio fue un golpe muy difícil para mí porque yo soy maestra inicial de vocación, me había preparado para eso y lo primero que pensé fue, y ahora mis niños, mi carrera, sí sentí mucha pena, ¿no? mucho dolor. Hago mi meditación, hago mis oraciones y luego lo que hago es preparar mi cuerpo, ¿no? Yo ya sé que tengo que preparar mi cuerpo, calentar mi cuerpo para poder tener una buena marcha con la prótesis, ¿no? Hago mis ejercicios de entrenamiento y luego de ello me preparo para irme a trabajar. Estoy muy contenta de la empresa donde estoy trabajando porque encontré un ambiente laboral grato. Conozco que el personal, antes de recibirme, tuvo una capacitación para poder de alguna forma facilitar o ayudarme, ¿no? En las tareas que surgieran. Con Camila siempre tratamos de buscar espacios juntas, como lo hacíamos antes. Seguimos saliendo a caminar, a comer un helado. De repente ya no caminamos 10, 20 cuadras, ahora hacemos menos tiempo, pero lo seguimos haciendo y tratamos de buscar un espacio para nosotros, al igual que con mi esposo. Algo que vivimos diario es autobuses inaccesibles, la falta de preparación del personal que brinda el servicio de transporte, ¿no? Choferes, cobradores, que desconocen de alguna manera el derecho que tenemos nosotros, las personas con discapacidad. Tengo días que también voy a entrenar. Yo practico el deporte de pararquería y después de que surgió la amputación, una de las cosas que me animaba es hacer cosas que había dejado pendientes. Una de ellas era el deporte, lo cual me hace sentir una mujer contenta, feliz, me libera, ¿no? El disparar la flecha para mí es como si yo estuviera siendo lanzada, ¿no? Hacia el futuro, ¿no? Si la discapacidad llega a tu vida, decirte que el mundo no se acaba. Hay nuevas posibilidades y nuevas puertas que se pueden abrir. El único que puede decidir ello eres tú mismo.
Vamos a dormir.
¿Pero por qué los acostamos sin comer?
¿Viste que nosotros tenemos que dormir de noche?
Sí.
Bueno, la heladera también.
Mentira.
¿De verdad? ¿Escuchas eso? Está roncando.
¿Y mañana va a estar despierta?
Sí. Mañana sí.
El hambre no tiene final feliz. En la Argentina 1 millón de niñas y niños se van a dormir sin comer. Tu donación mensual puede cambiar esta historia. Dona ahora.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias. Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola, mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.